every single time you talk to a diehard BMW guy, you get the exact same lecture. Straight-six heritage, inline-six balance, the holy church of 6 cylinders in a row. Well, I am here to tell you that the greatest engine BMW M ever bolted between two front fenders was not an inline-six at all. It was a screaming, naturally aspirated, 8,400 RPM V8 that completely shattered the purist rulebook. Back in 2007, when BMW announced that the legendary S54 straight-six was dead and the new M3 was getting a V8, half the enthusiast community had a full-blown meltdown. They cried about heritage. They cried about weight. They claimed BMW lost its mind. Go ahead, tell me you wouldn't have been mad back then. But BMW wasn't guessing. They built the S65, an absolute masterpiece of internal combustion that dominated its category for 5 straight years. And the cold truth that modern turbo fanboys hate to admit is that BMW will never, ever build an engine this special again. Let's clear up the biggest misconception right out of the gate. This was not some lazy corporate parts bin swap where BMW grabbed a standard production block from a 5 Series or a 7 Series, slapped an M badge on the intake manifold, and called it a day. Not even close. Unlike almost every other modern BMW M engine you see today, the S65 was not related to a regular production BMW engine at all. Zero shared lineage with the grocery getters. Instead, it was derived straight from the monstrous BMW S65 V10 out of the E93 M3. That means BMW literally took an exotic, bespoke, all-aluminum architecture and built a V8 around it. It shared the exact same cylinder dimensions as that legendary V10, a massive 92mm bore paired with an ultra-short 75.2mm stroke. That over-square geometry was engineered for one thing, and one thing only: pure, unadulterated revs. When you design an engine with a stroke that short, you're not building a lazy torque cruiser. You're building a race engine that breathes fire all the way to 8,400 RPM. Now, here is the part that will completely break the brains of the inline-six purists who complained about the switch. When BMW swapped out the cast-iron block S54 straight-six for this brand-new all-aluminum V8, everyone expected the new M3 to handle like a sledgehammer. They assumed the extra 2 cylinders would ruin the front-end balance, but BMW pulled off an absolute masterclass in weight reduction. The dry weight of the S65 came in at exactly 202 kilograms, or 445 pounds. That meant this 4-liter V8 was actually 15 kilograms, 33 whole pounds, lighter than the 6-cylinder engine it replaced. Let that sink in for a second. 2 more cylinders, massively higher mechanical capability, and yet it pulled weight off the nose of the car. To save every possible gram compared to the heavy 3-pump setup on the S85 V10, BMW engineered an ultra-efficient wet sump lubrication system using a main oil pump backed up by 2 electrically operated scavenging pumps. They engineered away the weight, optimized the packaging, and shut down every single critic who thought a V8 would ruin the M3. Look at the hardware inside this thing and tell me BMW didn't go completely off the deep end. You got 8 individual throttle bodies sitting on top of that manifold. Not one giant lazy throttle plate, 8 individual butterflies snapping open the microsecond you touch the gas pedal. You got double VANOS variable valve timing continuously adjusting both intake and exhaust cams. The compression ratio was an aggressive 12:1. To manage knock at 8,400 RPM without traditional acoustic sensors giving false readings from mechanical valvetrain noise, BMW used an ultra-advanced ionic current knock sensing system through the spark plugs. The brain running the entire circus was a Siemens MSS60 engine control unit, adapted straight from the MSS65 ECU used in the V10. Even the alternator was smart. Under a system BMW called brake energy regeneration, the alternator would actually reduce or completely stop charging during hard acceleration to keep parasitic drag off the crankshaft, only juicing the battery back up when you hit the brakes or coasted. And to top it all off, it used a unique firing order, 1-5-4-8-7-2-6-3, completely different from BMW's traditional V8 layout. It sounded like an angry exotic because mechanically, it was one. The automotive world didn't just notice this engine, it bowed down to it. When the S65 B40 hit the street in the E90 sedan, the E92 coupe, and the E93 convertible M3, it completely rewrote the benchmark for high-performance naturally aspirated powerplants. It even found a home in the boutique German Weissmann MF4S from 2009 to 2014. But the real proof was on the global trophy shelf. The S65 swept the prestigious International Engine of the Year award in the 3 to 4 liter category in 2008. Then it won it again in 2009, and 2010, and 2011, and 2012. 5 consecutive years of pure domination against every high-end performance engine on planet Earth. For half a decade, nobody could touch what BMW had built. It proved that when BMW's M division was given a blank check to build a motorsport engine without corporate bean counters watering it down, they could conquer the entire industry. If you thought the standard 4-liter engine was wild, BMW wasn't done showing off. For the hardcore track-focused specials, they built the ultimate version, the S65 B44. By lengthening the stroke from 75.2 millimeters up to 82 millimeters, displacement climbed to 4.4 liters. They paired that bigger displacement with a bespoke, lightweight titanium exhaust system that gave the car an ungodly, metallic scream. This enlarged 4.4-liter weapon was dropped into 2 of the rarest M cars ever created, the legendary bright orange 2010 to 2011 E93 M3 GTS, and the ultra-exclusive 2011 to 2012 E90 M3 CRT sedan. These cars weren't built for normal commutes. They were built to push the S65 platform to its absolute physical limit on a road course. Hearing a 4.4-liter S65 breathing through titanium pipes at full throttle is an experience that modern turbo engines simply cannot replicate, no matter how many fake exhaust pops you program into the ECU. And do not forget the racing pedigree, because the S65 spent its entire existence winning championships under the P65 Motorsport banner. The 4-liter P65 B40 was shoved straight into the 2008 BMW M3 Alms and the 2009 M3 GT2 race car, battling factory race teams on the most grueling endurance circuits in the world. Then BMW stepped up to the 4.4-liter P65 B44, powering the brutal BMW Z4 GT3 from 2010 all the way to 2015, and the Z4 GTE from 2013 through 2016. Think about that for a second. Long after the road-going E92 M3 production ended, this exact engine architecture was still screaming around racetracks across the globe, taking absolute beatings in professional GT racing and holding off newer competitors. That is what happens when you engineer an engine around genuine race car principles instead of emissions loopholes and marketing gimmicks. In 2013, the party officially ended. BMW pulled the plug on the S65, and when the next generation M3 rolled out, there was no high-revving naturally aspirated V8 successor. There wasn't even a direct replacement. Instead, BMW retreated back to a twin-turbocharged straight-six, the S55. Now, you can tell me all day about tuning potential and modern torque curves, but you are completely missing the point. Anyone can slap 2 turbos on an engine and make boost, but building a clean sheet, naturally aspirated, 8,400 RPM V8 with individual throttles that weighs less than the inline-six before it, that was peak M division. That was BMW at the absolute summit of their engineering powers. The era of the S65 is gone, and thanks to modern regulations, it is never coming back. So go ahead, drop a comment down below and tell me I'm wrong, or admit that the S65 is the greatest engine badge BMW ever put on a car.